The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
I am a little upset right now. The reason I'm upset is because we got 4 young ladies that have been murdered within the last week.
Chilling concerns from Bishop Tony Caldwell in Kansas City. A Kansas City Police Department spokesperson initially said there was, quote, no basis to support this rumor last month. But it turns out that wasn't the case at all. A black woman was able to escape a hellish prison. Timothy Haslett Jr. has been arrested for holding her captive as a prisoner in his home for weeks. She was found wearing nothing but latex underwear. She also had a metal collar with duct tape and a padlock around her neck. The 22-year-old victim told police he killed her 2 friends as well, but that hasn't been confirmed as of yet. But she also said Haslett repeatedly whipped and raped her for weeks in his home. He is being described as a known white supremacist. As disturbing as it is, it's also frustrating. How could a police department be so dismissive about such serious allegations involving a black woman? My guest here on The Factor Uncensored to talk about it, Eugene Howard, Ashton Woods, and Dr. Ruth Olison. So you guys have had a chance to look at this coverage in Kansas City. What were your thoughts when you saw what you saw about this coverage?
Well, first of all, of course, it's sickening. It's sickening that this could happen to a human being, this being a sex slave for this amount of time with this guy who has a reputation. People use the word supremacist with him. I would say he is despicable racist. I don't put those 2 words together. And it's sickening. It's appalling that this is where we are at this time. And it's an example of not taking seriously the value of a black life.
And Ashton, what we know, there was a newspaper there were activists there all saying, this is going on in our community. And whenever news organizations went to the police department, the Kansas City Police Department, they said nothing was happening.
So that speaks to institutional and structural racism, and I concur with Mama here. First of all, it's not supremacy, it's fascism, and it's racism, and it's sexism. We are good enough to be your sex toy. We're good enough to entertain you, but we're not good enough because we're black. It's 2022. And people need to understand that human trafficking has been going on in this country, especially right here in Houston, for a long time. It's not just someone pimping someone out on the street. We're talking about indentured servitude. Right? And the only federal law that's been on the books, and I studied this in college during my sociology program, The Slave Next Door by Rod Sedaltar. There were instances in Texas where you saw a kid tied to a pole in the middle of a backyard until a neighbor saw. These people get brought in from different countries and they get kidnapped within the domestic realm. And what happens is because we're not part of the power structure, we are unheard. We are othered. We'll continue to be othered because of the structural racism that underlies it. So until we dismantle the foundations of this racism within the police departments, within our city governments, because it's not just the Kansas City Police Department, we got to hold the city of Kansas accountable. We got to hold the county accountable, and we got to hold the state accountable because stuff rolls down the hill. I can't say the other word, but stuff rolls down the hill.
And Eugene, when you hear the paper kept ringing the bell saying, this is going on, you had activists, you had preachers saying, this is going on, black women are disappearing from our community. And they did absolutely nothing except to say it was not happening.
Well, I like to start by saying Malcolm X said this a little over 60 years ago, that the black woman is the least protected entity in America. And unfortunately, I'm saying that 60 some odd years later. This police department is despicable. Kansas City, Missouri Police Department, you have a sorry ass police department. For these people to be saying that this is a white supremacist or a white / thinking supremacist targeting black women because he believes that the race war is going on right now. These are the same people that hang along in the big lie crowd. It's the same people who want this civil war, who want the political violence to move forward. America needs to wake up and look in that monitor right there, look at your TV screen and see what the enemy of America looks like. And it's not because he's a white man, it's because he does not stand for the values of what they said this country is supposed to be on paper. And until the police department atones for its mistakes, until the community can feel that the police department is there to serve and protect and not ridicule and disbelieve, we can't move forward as a country. And I'm praying for those victims in Kansas City, Missouri, and for every elected official, for every city, state, federal official. Shame on you for not doing anything either.
And Dr. Olison, let's bring it back in to the young lady. How does she get over this? And she has chosen at this point not to be identified, not to talk publicly, which I totally understand. But how do you even deal with something like this?
It's going to be hard, but it's possible. There is going to be scarring. There are people, especially African American people, who have gone through so much abuse, so much malignment in the country, and yet we have an indomitable spirit within us. But we have to deal with something, and that is that we're going to have to do this ourselves, all right? The country, and I'll say this, I love our country, but our country many times doesn't love us. Mm-hmm. And the systems are not set up for us. And so we're going to have to take care of ourselves. We're going to have to take care of her. We're going to have to embrace people who are abused, who are neglected, who need our help. And we're going to have to value each other. And I'm so glad for the African American newspaper. Mm-hmm. That's the media.
The Kansas City Defender.
That's the media that helped her.
And really quick, in the last 20 seconds we have, what would you tell people who are watching us here and other places through Fox Soul? What should they do to make their concerns known about how outraged they are about this situation?
Raise total, utter hell. This system is built for white people, not for us. We built this country, but we didn't build this system, and we didn't ask to be born here. But what I will tell everybody to do is to make sure you go and find out who's responsible, know who represents you, know who the people are in charge, your mayor, council members, and you hold them to account. You show up to the city council members, the commissioner's court, and you vote. We have early voting starting Monday. We are on the menu. Get off of the table and sit at the table.
All right. We want to thank you all for joining us here tonight on The Factor Uncensored.